ReefBum is sponsored by Bulk Reef Supply and Ecotech Marine. Hey everybody, and welcome back to another video. So about 11 months ago, I did a video on how to set up an SPS quarantine tank, and I wanted to provide a couple of updates on that video, specifically in terms of how I dip my frags. But before we get into that, I just want to remind you, if you want to help support the channel, I do sell a bunch of SPS frags on reefbum.com, as well as the equipment that I use. So with that said, let's get into the video. Alright, so before I get into this video, I wanted to give a shout out to Ty at Farmer Ty's Frags for turning me on to this new methodology that I'm about to cover in this video, so thanks a lot, Ty. Alright, so what is different in terms of my dipping procedure? Well, one, I had been using this Bear Complete Insect Killer for many years, and this is nasty stuff. It's got some ingredients in it that can be very harmful to human beings, so you have to wear gloves and I think masks and eyeglasses or protective eyewear is certainly recommended when using this stuff. But it does kill the acro-eating flatworms, and it's great for that purpose. But the one drawback with Bear, besides it having a lot of nasty ingredients, is that it's milky white and pretty much near impossible to see whether or not any acro-eating flatworms are flying off the frags when you're dipping them. Alright, so what have I been using instead of Bear? Well, what I've been using is this pure potassium chloride. So if you have a water softener at home, you're going to recognize this stuff. You could buy it like in 40-pound bags. And yeah, you just, I've got it in a mortar and a pedestal right here, so you have to grind this stuff up into a powder. But, you know, you could buy that 40-pound bag for like 40 bucks, and that's pretty much like a lifetime supply. And this stuff doesn't have any nasty ingredients in it that's going to really be harmful to your health. And so, you know, what I do here is once I mix it up into a powder form, I use 2 of these teaspoons per 1 gallon of water, and I will do the dip for 25 to 30 minutes, and you could easily see the acro-eating flatworms come off if you take a turkey baster and blow on the frags while it's in this dip. So man, that is just that's a game changer to me, and I probably should have picked this method up a long time ago to make it easier to see whether or not you've got pests coming in on frags. One other thing that is another good idea in terms of fighting, you know, red bugs, white bugs, black bugs, whatever kind of bugs you're talking about, is if you don't have interceptor, then you could use this Dr. G's SPS and LPS Coral Dip solution. Now, on the instructions it says not to add it to the tank, and really what this is meant to be is more of a dip. So if you've got frags coming in and you suspect that they have bugs on them, I use this microscope that I talked about in the last video about the quarantine tank. So if I see any bugs on the frags, I will certainly dip the frags into this solution. And I think the concentration here is you could actually create 2.5 liters or 0.65 gallons of this. So that's about a quarter of the bottle that you would use to mix up a dip. Now, you know, it's a good idea if you really want to be have a strict quarantine policy to dip all incoming frags, you know, not only in the potassium chloride, but also eventually in this Dr. G's before it gets into the display tank. Then you know for sure that you're not going to get any of these pests. And the one other thing I wanted to mention, the reason why I've got the bandsaw out here, is that what I will always do, no matter where I get the frags from, if the frag is encrusted to the base of the plug, then I will cut off the base of that frag, because the acro-eating flatworm eggs, which do not get killed in any dip, will likely be on the base of the plug. So I like to cut them off with the bandsaw
And then just to make sure, I will also inspect under the microscope. But you know, in terms of a full quarantine process, you know, anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks in terms of weekly dips in the quarantine tank with the potassium chloride, and then one treatment with the Dr. G's should be a pretty safe protocol to keeping frags pest-free before they make it into your display tank. So that'll do it for this video. Until next time, be safe, be well, later.